We, as Indians, take a lot of pride in our intel agencies, be it our external agency RAW, Domestic Intelligence Agency IB, Military Intelligence Agency, or any other intel agencies. In this video, we will tell you about some massive successful operations and some unsuccessful operations by our int agencies. Let's start with one of the most recent cases. RAW had a big role to play in getting Mehul arrested. Mehul is the owner of Gitanjali Group and is wanted in a 13,500 crore loan fraud. He had taken citizenship of Antigua and Barbuda after leaving India. But did you know why he took citizenship of Antigua and Barbuda? This is a country where citizenship by investment programs are running, or the CIPs. For runaway frauds who plan their escape well in advance, islands in Caribbean not only provide a safe haven but also offer a complimentary benefit of getting some of the most coveted passports in the world. The passport holders of Antigua enjoy visa-free travel to approximately 132 countries, including the UK, Singapore, and covers most of Europe. So what was this RAW operation about? On May 23rd, Mehul was kidnapped on his way to restaurant, taken into a yacht and then moved to Dominica. By the time his advocate came to meet him on May 29th, he had been interrogated. Pretty well, we must say. There are theories which say he planned a self-abduction, which we think isn't a possibility when you look at the marks on his body. Who wants to injure an eye? It's one of the most sensitive parts of your body. Another theory says he was honey-trapped. His girlfriend's pictures are now viral. But then at least till next few months, we won't know much about the operation. But here are some interesting facts about the mysterious chartered flight that flew to Dominica a day after Mehul was arrested there. On May 28th, a chartered flight took off from Delhi to Madrid. And then from Madrid it flew to Dominica. The Antiguan government confirmed the flight had come to take care of Mehul. But what will surprise you is the flying history of this chartered flight. Brace up! This jet has been following some important global destinations. On May 6th, Maldives' ex-president was injured in a bomb blast. 2 days later, this jet landed in Maldives. 11th May, it landed in Nepal. Interestingly, just a day before that, Prime Minister Oli had lost vote of confidence. On 12th and 13th of May, this jet was in Moscow when the UN Secretary General visited Moscow. Between 21st and 25th of May, this jet was in Geneva just when Pakistan's NSA and American NSA were planning to meet. And on 28th, it landed in Dominica. This Bombardier Global 5000 is operated by Qatar Executive, a business jet subsidiary of Qatar Airways. It apparently has spacious cabins and can seat 13 members. Best feature though is that it can fly ultra long ranges of up to 9,000 kilometers and that too non-stop. Just FYI, Spain to Dominica is about 5,500 kilometers by air. So who was the mystery man flying in that jet? Stick around, we'll reveal his name in this video. Now that we are discussing of abductions and jets, let us move to a 2-decade-old case of IC-814's hijacking. The year was 1999. Just when the millennium was around the corner, Indian aviation witnessed the darkest week prior to New Year. Indian Airlines Airbus A300, which had taken off from Kathmandu, Nepal, was hijacked by 5 Pakistani terrorists who had boarded the flight. The plane entered Pakistani airspace, but the Pakistani air traffic control did not allow it to land in Lahore. The plane was then turned back to Amritsar. This was India's big opportunity to salvage the situation, as everyone hoped. After Amritsar, it also landed in Lahore and Dubai. But unfortunately, other than getting a dead passenger's body pushed out of the plane, nothing could be done to prevent the flight from taking off to its next destination in Kandahar, which was then under Talibani control. The hijack crisis ended with release of Masood Azhar, the man who later masterminded Parliament attack in 2001, Mumbai attacks in 2008, Pathankot attack in 2016 and Pulwama attack in 2019. Years later, Mr. A.S. Dulat, the man who was the chief of India's external intelligence agency RAW, himself revealed that a RAW officer was in the flight IC-814. Sometime in late 1999, Tomar, a RAW officer posted at the Indian Embassy in Nepal, was informed by his junior U.V. Singh of a possible hijack of Indian aircraft from Kathmandu airport. U.V. Singh had received this information from a reliable source who was a senior officer at Kathmandu airport, but Tomar suppressed this report. He never sent it to RAW headquarters in Delhi. This lapse boomeranged on Tomar when he was among the 176 passengers of IC-814 that was hijacked as it flew out of Kathmandu on December 24, 1999. While A.S. Dulat claimed that the hijackers knew nothing of the presence of RAW officer, this claim is completely wrong, and we'll tell you how. When the plane landed in Amritsar, a mutilated body of Rupin Katal was pushed out. A few knew this was the sign that the next victim will be the RAW officer sitting inside the flight. Tomar, the RAW officer sitting inside the flight, is a relative of N.K. Singh, who was then the all-powerful Principal Secretary of Vajpayee government and also related to the NSG, National Security Guards Chief Neeraj Kumar. Singh's sisters were married to NSG Chief Kumar and RAW officer Tomar. Both these officers, Neeraj Kumar and Tomar, were members of Crisis Management Group, just as the RAW officer A.S. Dulat was. And this was the reason why NSG men were not allowed to carry out an operation while the flight was in Amritsar. What a brilliant foolproof plan by terrorists this was. We really suspect that the IC-814 hijack was carried out with the help of many insiders. Anyways, later when the flight landed in Kandahar, India sent one of its best men as a negotiator to a place which was fortress of the dreaded Taliban. The man who was sent was present-day NSA Ajit Doval himself. Taliban blocked India's attempt to launch a commando raid and also rejected suggestions of Afghan commandos carrying out an operation. Home Minister L.K. Advani was against. He let him the terrorists, but then Foreign Minister Jaswant Singh felt that the Taliban would cooperate with India. The same ex-foreign minister turned against his party BJP, often seen criticizing Prime Minister Modi. Back to the hijack story. December 25 and 26 had already passed and the passengers were at their breaking point. Negotiations were not making much headway. On December 27, 1999, the Taliban gave a deadline to take the flight to a different destination. With every option drying out, India finally decided to accept the terms laid by terrorists. But India was successful in cutting down the release of list of 36 terrorists to just 3 terrorists, which included Masood Azhar. Later, Doval would reveal that the terrorist hijackers got active support from Pakistani spy agency ISI. He said hijackers were in no fear or pressure to end the hostage crisis. When Masood Azhar was brought to Kandahar by Indian officers, he was hugged by then Taliban Civil Aviation Minister and later the head of Taliban, Mullah Akhtar Mansoor. Another revelation made by Doval was that there were 2 ISI men present in Kandahar. One was a colonel and other was a major. Doval also suspected that ISI supplied the terrorists with guns after the flight landed in Kandahar. And this was the reason why Pakistani authorities didn't want hijack drama to unfold at one of their own airports. All the story was pretty much pushed under the carpet by then RAW chief A.S. Dulat. Yet, he agreed to only one part of the story, that RAW officer was indeed present in the flight. But then A.S. Dulat himself was a very shady character. Dulat was never a RAW man. as accepted by RAW officers themselves. He spent most of his service in the Intelligence Bureau (IB) and was later mysteriously brought into RAW during the Vajpayee government, supposedly at the behest of Farooq Abdullah. At this point, let us remind you that Farooq Abdullah was also the Chief Minister of J&K when Masood Azhar was released from the jail in Kashmir. Another important incident is when A.S. Dulat helped ex-ISI's chief's son trapped in India escape. You heard that right. A.S. Dulat let him escape. In May 2015, ex-ISI Chief General Asad Durrani's son, Usman, came to Kochi to work for a German company. He should have exited India from Kochi, but he booked his tickets from Mumbai. For whatever reasons, he was stopped by authorities in Mumbai, and what followed was a 24 hours long negotiation which was carried out by ex-RAW chief A.S. Dulat himself. Should Usman not have been questioned well? Would Pakistani authorities ever be so kind to Indian citizens? Never mind. We move on. A.S. Dulat episodes of blunders don't end here. He, while in IB, apparently used to pay money to separatists in Kashmir, and this is why for a very long time, that is close to 3 decades, separatists and secessionists like Yasin Malik, who were involved in the killing of Indian Air Force men, could roam free. Apparently, Shah Faisal, an ex-IS officer, and Shaila Rashid, a JNU student known more for anti-India dharnas, were also at some point supported by IB. Though Dulat wasn't part of the agency when Ms. Rashid and Shah Faisal were being supported by IB, but he probably was one who set the wrong precedent for his successors. RAW Chief A.S. Dulat earned some ire of the RAW insiders. And then there are few like Ajit Doval, about whom the world would know only till they rise to a high position or till they make a mistake. It is said that Doval has an old rivalry with Jaish-e-Mohammed's kingpin Masood Azhar. Doval had interrogated Masood Azhar when he was arrested in 1994 in Kashmir. After the Kandahar hijack in 1999, Doval took Masood Azhar to Kandahar airport, and then in February 2021, a report was released which said Masood Azhar was planning a suicide attack on Doval in the year 2020 and that Doval's office was wrecked by terrorists. Doval has had to take many risks in his career, like the 7 years he spent as an agent inside Pakistan and when he flew quietly in a flight to Iraq to negotiate the safe return of 40 Indian nurses with none other than ISIS. Apparently, he takes such frequent flights. So, was it him in that chartered flight to Dominica, a country which has been friendly with India? We can only say it's a possibility. As of now, getting Mehul Choksi out of Antigua itself is half the work done. In case you're wondering why is Mehul Choksi such a big target, you should watch our other videos on gold smuggling and terrorism and a few recent incidents. Hope you enjoyed our video and do not forget to subscribe to our channel.